Hello, welcome. Episode number 6, which is the continuation of the lesson on trigonometry. We have a series of tutorials on trigonometry already. We are just revisiting it with different examples. So we are taking negative angles. Angles that will be given in relation to the ratios as negative. So, for example, you can be given the sine negative 120 or tan negative 300. That negative in front of the angle. How do we deal with that? Now, in the first 5 episodes, we did mention that the measurement of angles under trigonometry is done in the anti-clockwise direction, which is the anti-clockwise direction. Now, we know a clockwise direction is moving this direction, that is the movement of a clock. So this is clockwise direction. Then the anti-clockwise direction is this. So if we are doing measurement under trigonometry, the measurement is supposed to be in this direction, which is referring to the real measurement. So if I'm doing the opposite measurement, then it means the negative aspect come in. So if you are doing anti-clockwise movement, you are still in a positive sense, because that is trigonometric word required movement. Then if you do the measurement in the clockwise direction, then you are doing the reverse. So it means you are having a negative movement. So that is the only difference between what we have done before and what we are coming to do. All other definitions that we have in terms of quadrant, first, second, third, fourth quadrant, we are going to put all into play. So here they say if the line, this is the origin and this is a point here, the distance between the two. So if a line OP rotates in a clockwise direction, meaning wherever it is moving in the clockwise direction. Then about the origin, meaning it is still moving, making a movement of 360, right? It will describe a negative angle, which is the one we are seeing in there. The positive angle for this, the positive angle that will be, that is the actual measurement in the anti-clockwise direction. When we start here and I move toward this way, I have moved in the clockwise direction, hence I have a certain value. Let's say this value is 50. It is 50, it's a movement I made. The negative here shows that I am moving in the clockwise direction. Then what will be the actual movement? If this is a point in the plane, it means that I would have been moving from here all the way and come back to this in the positive sense. So my movement will have been this, meeting here. So this here, if we take away this value from whatever movement I have made, that will give me the actual movement. Sorry, when I take away the 50 from the 360, which is the actual revolution, then I will have been measuring my positive direction. So if you are looking for the positive angle for the negative angle given to you, all we need to do is to subtract the angle, not with the negative sign. Subtract the angle from what? 360 to give you the positive sense. So if, for example, we are asked to find sine negative 120 degrees based on what we are doing. So the first thing I need to do is to subtract this from what? 360. Meaning if this measurement is here, let's make a sketch. 120 is moving from here, so 90, it will be ending somewhere here. Okay, what are we adding to 90 to get that? That will be 30, so 30 is 160. So this is our movement. It means that as I move all the way from here, I am having a movement of 120. The movement of 120, the negative shows that it is in the clockwise direction. So now, how will I measure the positive angle here? This positive angle. And this angle, we have first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. All of them are positive in the first quadrant. Only sine is positive in the second quadrant. only tan is positive here and only cos. So if I have an angle here which is not tan, it will be negative. So here, if I'm to solve this without the diagram, based on the definition I have, I am going to have my sine as in sine. This is 120 negative is going to be the same as sine 240 degree as in the subtraction. We don't need to show the subtraction. You can show it if you want to. This is 360 minus the angle theta. And 360 minus 120 will give you what? 240. So now we have to go back to what we have done in the previous episode, that if I have a sine in this quadrant, what do? I need to have what we call a reference angle. So if I have this drawn here, the point is here, having 90, I need an angle here. Let me use beta. I need an angle in that direction. All along, I have moved all the way from here, bypass the 180, including the beta before coming. So this beta will be, this is going to be, what do you call it? Sine 1, okay, that will be 240 minus what? 180 degree. That subtraction is describing the beta, the angle I'm coming here all the way. I reach here 180. I added excess angle I added here. That gives me the 240 movement. So this subtraction, if I do it well, I still have sine, is that 60 degree. All right, I am performing all this step by step. You could have done this within the seconds, but per tutorial sake, for those of us who are picking the basics, we need to take it step by step. Now, so we are having this as a reference angle. That reference angle is the 60 we are having. But look at the quadrant in which we are having the angle. First quadrant, second, the third quadrant. The only positive answer we can get for a third quadrant should be tan. But in this case, we are not having a tan, but rather what? Sine. So all the way, this can be translated into this as equals to negative of this. Remember I think the fourth or the fifth episode, when we are finding the two definitions of each angles in the quadrant. This is 60, which is not in the rightful quadrant. That will get a positive value. So it is in the third quadrant, hence the negative introduction. This negative is not coming because we are dealing with a negative angle. It is coming because the sign is in a quadrant that is not a positive. I guess that is clear. All right. Then we need to get a value for that, which will still be negative. We will have our hand. This is 0, 30, 45. We have 60. So this is going to be the root of 3 divided by 2. I promise that I'll be explaining how we use the hand, even though there's a video on this. This is the value if I have been given sine negative 120 degrees to find or to simplify. Or let's say I have example 2, which I'm asked to find the cos of, let's say, negative, okay, let me pick it small. This is big, so let's pick a smaller one, 60 degrees. This is also a negative angle. So now you can see that your movement is from here, coming all toward this way. So I have moved how many degrees? I've moved what? 60 degrees. And the negative is only showing that I'm moving in the clockwise direction. So if I subtract 60 all the way from 360, I should be saying that my cos negative 60 degree is the same as cos 300 degree. Right? That will be 300. So if it is 300, then I have to see in which quadrant is the angle 300 going to be. It's going to be in the fourth quadrant, where the cos is a positive value. Do we get that? Where the cos is a positive value. So what I need to do is to find the reference angle. If I introduce this, I need to find a reference angle. what will be the reference angle. This is where the point is. Movement from all the way to this place. The reference angle will still be the 60. Meaning, on this point, I am having 300. As in, from this direction, all the way to this place is 300. So what will be added so that I can get my 360? So you are seeing in here negative, but in there it will be positive because this is the reference angle with the x-axis. So this will give me cos 60 degree. Why is it cos 60, not negative? Because in the fourth quadrant, cos is what? A positive value. So in this case also, we can also see that we are dealing with cos. So 0, 30, 45, 60, cos. So that will be 1/2. I guess the concept of the negative angles, you are getting the bit of explanation that you are looking for. Now, if we can take another example, okay, so how about a tan of a negative 150? For tutorial sake, let me still indicate the Cartesian plane we are having. This is our x, this is our y, this is a unit circle, so we can introduce a circle we have. We are moving from here, we have 90 plus 60, right? So the point is going to be here. If the origin, we are dealing with P, my angle is going to be here as what? 150, which is negative. I think 60 plus that. So your reference angle is going to be here. But before then, we need to know the positive angle in the anti-clockwise direction. So your tan negative 150 should be equals to, let me write this before thinking of negative, 360 minus what? 150. I mentioned that you can do that without showing it. And if you subtract that, you should be having 2 here, 1 here, 0 there. That is what? 210 degree. So this is where we are having the 210. So when you move all the way, 90 plus 90, that will be 180. 180 plus 30, right? Because this is 50, 60, 30. 30 plus 180 give you this. So this is your reference angle, 30 degree, which we also need in the calculation. So from here, I need to find out ASTC, cast, right? This is positive for tan. So I am only going to say that tan 210 is the same as what? Tan 30 degrees. So if we check with the hand, we can also find 0, 30. This is sine, so 1 over the root of 3. That will be 1 over root 3, which will also be by rationalization, the root of 3 over 3. This will be the final answer. Now, if you look at these 3 examples, I'm sure these 3 examples will give you fair idea how we deal with negative angles. The moment you are able to understand that to find the positive angle to that negative angle, you subtract from 360, then find the quadrant in which your angle is now situated. Then use the principles of cast and identify whether it is a positive value or a negative value. For that, you also try find sine negative 30 and cos what? Negative 240. Leave your answer in the comment section as we keep learning together. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.